This video provides an overview of creating a Revit model that will be successfully analyzed in Sefaira. There are two principles and four guidelines to keep in mind. The first principle is that Sefaira is only looking for the thermal envelope, floor plates, and shading, and in the case of daylight analysis, interior partitions. Now, I've already generated Sefaira views for this model by going to the Sefaira panel and clicking Generate Views. That has created a handful of Sefaira-specific 3D views in my model. And if I go to one of these views, let's say the energy analysis view, you can see that Sefaira has automatically isolated just the types of families that it needs for analysis and ignored everything else. The second principle is that analysis time for energy generally increases with plane count, especially glazing planes. This particularly comes into play with curtain walls and custom window families. Depending on how these are modeled, each component can potentially contain hundreds of planes. For windows, we recommend using standard window families, which Sefaira can simplify fairly well and tend to work well in analysis. For curtain walls, we recommend that the curtain wall grid is modeled so that it does not cut through the glass. The mullions are automatically hidden in the energy view and shown in the daylight view, but even so, if they cut through the glass, you can still end up with many individual glazing planes, particularly if you have a large building. We'll go into more detail on these specific issues later, but if you understand the principle behind limiting the amount of glazing planes, it can help you avoid many potential problems. There are four modeling guidelines to keep in mind as well. The first is to confirm that the entities are being interpreted correctly by Sefaira. And to do that, of course, we'll use these same views that we created by clicking Generate Views. Here, Sefaira isolates and color codes the families that it's using for analysis, so we can quickly check to make sure that everything that should be, for example, a roof family is in fact modeled using the roof families. Number two is to check the interior versus exterior function type. One common error is to model interior walls and windows as exterior, and this of course will give incorrect results because Sefaira thinks that these elements have heat transfer between the inside and outside of the building. Now, Sefaira automatically creates some exterior and interior views that isolate just the exterior or interior walls and windows that allow you to check this fairly quickly. And let's say that one of these is incorrect. Let's say, for example, this wall should be an interior wall rather than exterior. You can change that by going to the Edit Type button in the Properties dialog, and you can see the function type here is listed as exterior. Here you're able to change that. So make sure that exterior and interior function types are correct. Third is to check roofs and floors. Another common issue is that roofs are modeled as floors, or floors are used to model non-floor elements like drop ceilings or exterior elements. And of course, because floor area is used in a number of ways in the analysis, that can throw off results. One thing that I like to do in order to check this quickly is actually to create a copy of the energy analysis view. Let's go ahead and duplicate this. And then we can go to the Visibility and Graphic Override panel, and we can actually turn off everything except for the floor and roof families. And when I apply these changes, you'll see that those elements are now isolated, which allows me to very quickly check and make sure that I've modeled everything correctly. And this actually is a good trick that you can use in many contexts, which is to duplicate and adjust the default types of views that Sefaira creates in order to inspect the model in different ways. Guideline, which is to check the project base point. And that's because buildings that are thousands of feet away can sometimes be difficult when it comes to the daylight visualization, and they might not show up in the daylighting window. And you can check that again by opening up the Visibility Graphics panel and going down to the Site section, and if you open that up, you'll see that you can make the project base point visible, and then you'll be able to see where it is in relationship with your model. If you ever need a reminder of any of these guidelines, you can simply generate Sefaira views, and the guidelines will show up automatically once the views are generated. Here they are.